And so the roof is open as we get ready for game time here in Seattle. Mariners take the field behind Nathan Carnes, and hopefully the Indians bats get going here tonight. Let's get on to Andre with more on that story.
Well, Nathan Carnes is coming off his worst start so far this season, and for the Indians, they want to be aggressive tonight. Carnes is a curveball pitcher that's had success in the past versus the Indians, but they're hoping because of some of the success that Tyler Naquin as well as Francisco Lindor has had previously against Carnes in the minor leagues, that they hope that they can get this offense going. Look for them to be aggressive early in the count and try to get some runs early on the board to get back to who they were a week ago.
Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Cleveland Indians tonight under Terry Francona, brought to you by Progressive. Carlos Santana leading it off. He's the DH tonight. Jason Kipnis at second base will bat in the 2-hole. Francisco Lindor will hit third. Then it's Napoli, Ramirez, and Chisenhall. Rajai Davis will hit seventh. Tyler Naquin eighth, and Chris Jimenez batting ninth.
Well, the Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher, Nathan Carnes, coming on. The 28-year-old right-hander making his 12th start this year. He's a record of 5-2 and a .423 earned run average against the Indians in his career. He's 1-1. He has made 3 starts, 20 hits in his 16 2/3 innings, 16 strikeouts. Curveball, he will try and throw that fastball upstairs, and that's where the Indians were swinging a lot of high fastballs yesterday. So we'll see how they go. If they're going to get aggressive tonight, get something you like early and get after it. Let's set the defense behind Carnes tonight. It stacks up this way. In the outfield will be Smith in left, Aoki in center. It'll be Cruz in right, Sardinas at third, Marte at short, Canoas at second, Lind at first, Iannetta catching.
The veteran crew chief, John Hirschbeck, has the plate tonight. DJ Rayburn at first, Bill Welke at second, Mike McClinsky is down at third. And we're ready to go as Carlos Santana makes his way to home plate. Indians 32 and 26, Seattle 33 and 26. But whereas the Indians began the day with a 3-game lead in the loss column in the division in the Central, Seattle started the day 3 games back of Texas in the West. Here's the line of tonight's first pitch is a fastball strike. .65 degrees our game time temperature under partly cloudy skies.
What a difference from game 1 in this series where it was what, in the 80s. But the roof is open again.
One pitch swung out and missed. Santana trying to turn on it. Hit it 10 miles, but he came up empty. Santana 3 for 12 in the series. Last night 0 for 4, struck out 3 times. That's low and a full count. Nathan Carnes' payoff pitch is slapped out of play. Nathan Carnes, born in Franklin, Pennsylvania. Came to the Mariners in a deal with the Tampa Bay Rays. And Santana draws a leadoff walk. So there's the patience.
Yeah, good eye.
Santana paying off.
Good eye to draw the walk. 27th walk for Carnes this year.
Keys to the game brought to you by Wayside Furniture. The Indians have scored a total of 4 runs in the 3 games played thus far. They could use a big inning. And for Josh Tomlin, work the edges. His last start snapped a streak of 7 consecutive starts, allowing at least 1 home run. But he didn't give one up against Kansas City, and hopefully that continues here tonight, because this Mariners team is very good when it comes to hitting the long ball.
Yes, they are.
Jason Kipnis takes, and it's in for a strike. Last year, Carnes made 26 starts for Tampa Bay and had a record of 7-5 with a very good ERA at 3.67. And off to a good start this year with the Mariners at 5-2 in 11 starts.
He's been a guy also that has pitched on the right day with Seattle. He gets the second best run support as far as starters go.
And a foul back by Kipnis. It's 0-2.
But coming off his shortest outing of the year, as Andre said, against the Rangers, he went 4 innings, gave up 8 hits and 7 runs, the most he's given up all year long. So he's trying to bounce back, as the rest of this Mariners starting staff has in this series. They've done a nice job.
A little bit high, 1-2. On the right side of the infield, the 1-2 to Kipnis. Foul right back. Jerry Dipoto pulled the trigger on this trade in November with Tampa Bay to get Carnes, along with C.J. Riefenhauser and Boog Powell. He gave up Danny Farquhar, who we saw a number of times, Brad Miller, an infielder, and Logan Morrison. But those guys all seem like bit players or role players.
Right.
So there was quantity involved in that trade, but he didn't really give up a lot of quality per se.
Agree. Well, Miller's playing shortstop for him this year. He wasn't going to fit in here because they have Marte, so you know, he became expendable.
Now the 1-2. Sad he missed. And of course, Seattle's banking on the fact they believe Carnes can be a long-term fit in their starting rotation.
Well, if he can go out and he can give you innings, this is his 12th start, you know, so he's on pace to get his 30 starts throughout the course of the year, should he stay healthy and give you innings. That's a nice deal. You need starters.
The 2-2. There's the ball fouled back.
That one he left upstairs. One of the few breaking balls I've seen to this point. Trying to get a feel and command of the fastball early, as every pitcher does. That's your curveball, your changeup, everything is effective off of your fastball.
Runner goes, and the ball is popped up, foul out of play.
Back again with the curveball. Santana was off and running on that pitch, but with 2 strikes, too close for Kipnis to take, fouled it off.
Jason batting 70 points higher against right-handed pitching this year as opposed to the lefties. And this will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. We'll see if Santana's in motion again. He's not. He checked. Oh, and John Hirschbeck rings him up, and it wasn't even close.
You got to get some help right there. You can't go out and make that call on your own. It didn't look like it originally, and that's what Kipnis is telling him. Why don't you just ask and get some help instead of making the call yourself?
That was not a good call by John Hirschbeck.
You know, that's, well, let's take a look. I didn't think he went on the initial reaction and he did
Not
not.
even close.
I mean, that is not a swing.
I'm surprised.
That's what upsets a hitter, a manager, or anybody sitting in that other dugout. You know what? You can ask. Get some help there. You don't have to make the call yourself.
Well, I mean, if you see it and you really feel strongly about it, then make the call. But what in the world could he have seen?
I don't know.
From where he's standing that close to the plate, that would have made him think he definitely went around without getting help.
Well, we showed you the replay, and I don't think it was close.
Now Francisco Lindor swings and misses. Lindor 1 out of 10 in the series. Both he and Jason Kipnis have had a tough time against this Seattle staff. Outside 1-1.
See, much better with runners on base, which is a good thing.
Yesterday, though, in a key spot with 2 men on and nobody out in the 4th inning, Lindor fouled out to the catcher. Back to the series opener, he came up in that 1st inning, had 2 on with nobody out and bounced out to second base. So lately the hits just haven't been falling for him.
Well, if you remember that last homestand, he started it out slowly before he caught fire when Kansas City came to town, and he picked up the pace right there. And you got to remember the Indians are in a since May 26th, they haven't had an off day, and he could be getting a little tired, and they won't have one until the 16th when they head home.
2-2 hit to left. And there is Seth Smith. 2 down. That'll bring up Mike Napoli. He sat out last night. He's gone 1 for 8 in the series. And Mike takes it's called strike. After the foul back, it's 0-2. Santana started the inning with a walk. And then again, boy, the inning can change on a call sometimes. Looked like Jason Kipnis was going to walk, and they'd have had 2 on and nobody out. Instead, he was called for a check swing. John Hirschbeck said he went too far on when replays clearly indicated he didn't. Wasn't really even close, not even borderline. And Napoli's rung up. So the inning comes to an end. The Mariners come to bat when we come back. Making the start for the Indians tonight. Let's take a look at the lineup he will face for Scott Service and the Seattle Mariners. Nori Aoki in your picture there will lead it off. Then it's Seth Smith. Robinson Cano will bat third. Nelson Cruz, 3 hits in the series, a double and 2 home runs. Bats cleanup. Kyle Seager fifth. Adam Lynn will hit sixth. And then Ketel Marte, the switch hitting shortstop. Chris Iannetta, last night's hero with a couple of homers, and Luis Sardinus batting ninth.
And our Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher, Josh Tomlin, on the mound. His 11th start of the year. Josh 8-1, 354 earned run average. Has loved pitching in this ballpark in his career. He's 4-0 in his 4 starts, giving up 16 hits in 29 2/3 innings.
Slashed out of play.
And I know you remember the last time he pitched in this ballpark, June 28, 2014. First career complete game shutout, a 1-hitter, had 11 strikeouts.
I think it was getaway day. It was a day game. I remember that.
It was. I'll tell you what. It was the next best game I saw pitched outside of Len Parker's perfect game. He could have very easily had a no-hitter that day.
Aoki down on strikes, 1 away.
Let's check the Indians defense for you, brought to you by Jeep. It looks like this. It's Davis, Naquin, and Chisenhall in the outfield. It's Ramirez, Lindor, Kipnis, and Napoli on the infield. Chris Jimenez again behind the plate doing the catching tonight.
So you're saying that game by Tomlin was as good as
he was.
Since Len Barker.
I mean, nothing hit hard. There was one good play. And I mean, with the number of pitches he threw and the strikes to ball ratio and the way it was, yes, it was. I remember saying it that day as well.
Seth Smith fouls it back.
He had 11 strikeouts in that game. And it was just one of those days. Everything was just working. But when he's healthy, we say that a lot about Josh, don't we?
Mm-hmm. Now the 0-1. I don't know. For me, it's tough to top that Kluber game against the Cardinals last year when he struck out.
That's true too. 18.
18, yeah.
Struck out 18 and didn't pitch the 9th inning.
Now the 1-1. Hammered into the glove of Napoli. 2 down. Here's our great clip of the game. Let's go back and revisit it. There's the hit.
That's the only hit he gave up in that ball game, but he was in total command. I mean, dealing everything: cutter, curveball, fastball, and that game was about that quick when he was out there throwing strikes. It was a gem.
Yeah, that wasn't the game. I guess I was thinking of another game that he pitched here. Well, he's 4-0 here.
He has always pitched well here, but that one hitter was special.
I remember another game he pitched in this ballpark where it was a day game and he just cruised. It was just like he made it look easy. And when he's on, he can do that. Robinson Cano, 4 for 12 in the series, has just 1 extra base hit, a double. That's crushed. Deep center. And goodbye. Cano and the Mariners take a 1-0 lead on a 2-out home run in the first. His 17th of the year.
Well, he had the count in his favor, a 2-1 count, and we'll see the pitch and see if he had a little too much of the plate, because Cano hit it to straightaway center. Not exactly sure what the pitch was. Maybe like it was a fastball, he wanted it away. I don't know if it was a cut fastball, but that one leaked out over the middle, and he hit it pretty well. So Cano with his 17th home run, and it's the 87th for the Seattle Mariners. They were in third place. Just one behind. Let me see. It was Tampa, then Baltimore, and then Seattle. So they're now tied with Baltimore, depending on what they did.
I don't think the Orioles played today.
Okay.
Yeah, they did. They beat Toronto 6-5. Base hit by Nelson Cruz with 2 outs to keep the inning alive. Broke his bat, but he bloops one in.
Well, you could tell just by the sound of that when it came off the end of the bat. It was a pretty good pitch there. It was down and away, but Cruz got enough of it off the end, slaps over the head of Napoli at first and into right field. So this is what Seattle does. They score with 2 outs. They just added another home run with 2 outs, where they lead the majors now with 35 home runs with 2 outs.
Kyle Seager takes a strike. Pedro Alvarez and Chris Davis homered tonight for Baltimore. They beat Toronto 6-5.
Okay, so now they're still in third place when it comes to home run ball.
White Sox scored 3 in the first at home against Washington. They're trying to make it stand up. They lead 3-1 in the ninth. Royals and the Tigers are both off tonight. Sort of a light night, I guess.
Yes, it is, all throughout baseball.
Hammered foul right side.
Seager, not a very good month average wise in April. I think that's why they started off so slowly here in this ballpark. But he has picked it up. A great month of May.
Chased one up high, but got a piece. Stays 1-2. Murph went back, looked it up. The game I was thinking of was when Josh outdueled Felix Hernandez 2-1.
Okay.
In this ballpark, and I think I'm pretty sure it was a day game.
I think they scored their runs late in the ball game off Hernandez, if I'm not mistaken. He came out and through the 8th inning.
1-2. Low. Fourth straight game, though, in which the opposition has scored first. Talked a lot about that with regards to the Indians when they score first. They've been very good, 24-6, but have not been able to get the lead early against Seattle in any of these games. And well, they didn't score last night and scored one the night before,
and that came in the 8th inning. So. You're right. Their offense has been missing up here for the first 3.
In the air left. And well hit. And off the top of the fence, it stays in play. Coming around third. Cano's going to try to score. Here's the throw to the plate. And they got him. Cruz tagged by Jimenez just as he got to the dish. And that will end the inning. Boy, a terrific play by Rajai Davis to make the play off the wall. Good throw to the cutoff man. And Lindor with a good shot to the dish. And when Jimenez applying the tag to Cruz, And now it looks like they're going to challenge, huh?
Well, they want to check and see that that ball's hit on the top of the fence and it didn't go over, I think. But I'll tell you what, it was. Let's see where it hits.
Got to clear the fence. It can hit the top. If it doesn't go over, it's not a home run.
Oh, no. That's not a home run. It hit the yellow line. And it was a great relay from Davis to Lindor to Jimenez. And they do get Cruz with 2 outs. He double clutched but made a beautiful one-hop throw right there. And they did tag him. So they're going to find out. That call is going to be fine.
This will take 2 seconds.
Yes, it will. So they get out of that inning after 3 consecutive hits. And they'll only get the 1 run.
I think they're asking him, what are you challenging, the home run or the call to play? He's challenging the home run.
Yeah.
Well, again, that'll be pretty quick.
It should be. I mean, it hit the yellow line and we saw it come right back into play.
You only need to look at it one.
And there's nothing behind it. If it goes behind it, that's the bullpen.
Yeah.
So it would have been over. There it is. Very fast. He's out.
So the inning comes to an end on a nice play from Rajay Davis to Francisco Lindor to Chris Jimenez, and Nelson Cruz is erased at the plate. 1-0 Seattle. The Indians come to bat here in the second inning with Jose Ramirez leading off, then Lonnie Chisenhall and Rajay Davis. And Jose takes a strike. Ramirez 1 out of 7 in the series, sat out last night, had the bad left ankle. He fouled a ball off that front foot.
Well,
when he's batting from the left side of the plate, that's when he made that foul ball that nailed that left foot.
He's got it covered tonight.
But that's the other foot. That's not the one he hurt.
It's not.
There's a fly ball into center field. I don't think so. Wasn't he batting left-handed the other night? Because it was Wade Miley.
Yeah, there was. Okay, so he was hitting right-handed.
Yeah.
He's got them all covered. Be hitting with catcher's shin guards next.
Lonnie Chisenhall bats here. Mariners shift 3 to the right side. He pops it up, lazy fly ball to left field, and an easy catch for Smith. 2 down.
Well, Indians baseball is live with the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay connected all season with radio, broadcast, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
Rajai Davis takes a strike. In the hole and a base hit. Rajai has the Indians' first hit tonight, his 4th in the series. And a 2-out base runner for Tyler Naquin.
Well, he's going to get a breaking ball here, and he's going to get it on the ground, but find the hole. You see, he tops it out in front of the plate, and Sardina's over at third base, couldn't get there, gets in the hole. So the situation where you would expect to see Rajai, if he gets a jump, maybe do a little running here, because Carnes is about average when it comes to his delivery, getting that ball to home plate.
In Minnesota tonight, the Twins and Marlins went to the 7th inning tied at 2. And then Miami promptly scored 7 runs in the 7th inning. And they now lead the Twins 10-2 in the 8th. White Sox did beat the Nationals 3-1. So Chicago evens their record on the year at 30-30, stopping a 5-game losing streak. Indians down 1-0 here, 2nd inning. Throw to first, but Rajai's back.
There's a little slide step. That's not his normal. That's his A move, I guess you would say, when he delivers it to the plate. That little slide step, which is much quicker.
Naquin takes a strike, 1-1. There goes Rajai. Called a strike and the throw away off line. Davis with his 14th stolen base on the year. He's in the scoring position, but now Naquin in the hole, 1-2.
Well, he had a good jump. The throw from Iannetta is off target on the shortstop side, so he steals it easily. Gets the hand in and just slides over and keeps his foot on the base. So for Rajai, that is 14 stolen bases now. See if the Indians can do some 2-out damage here. The Indians have been 0 for 12 with runners in scoring position in this series. Make it 1 for him? No.
And Naquin went down, barely got out of the box. I don't know what happened, if he just rolled his ankle or what happened. This looked like Michael Brantley a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah. Rolled over on that ankle. He was on the toe, and that thing. Watch the back foot, and rolls over on it right there. Comes out of his toe hold.
Foul back. Stays 1-2. Tying run at second base. And with 2 down, the 1-2 pitch. No, nothing doing. Carnes looks back to second. Now the pitch. It's way outside. Throw down to second. Not in time.
Well, they want to keep him that extra step closer, but look at that good secondary lead by a guy that can run. So that you'd actually have no chance of throwing this guy out on a base hit when you can get that secondary lead like that. That's why they wanted to throw behind him, to try and keep him a step or so closer.
Slow pitch up high.
I mean, you've got that shortstop that's sitting right in the back pocket of Davis over there, and the shortstop hole for Naquin is wide open. Because Sardinus at third is just off the bag and playing a little bit deeper, but that there's a huge hole right at shortstop.
Now the payoff pitch, and it's ball 4. So Carnes has walked 1 in each of the first 2 innings. There are 2 on and 2 out. And Chris Jimenez will be the hitter. Jimenez 1 for 9 in the series. Yan Gomes still out. Ball 1. Boy, Carnes really laboring here after he got the first 2 outs quickly in the second inning.
You get runners on base, and he really slows down. And you can tell he's a Tampa Bay style pitcher, because they always take a lot of time in between pitches. That's where he pitched last year. Very deliberate.
There's Robinson Cano saying, hey, don't worry about this guy on the base. Get the hitter out.
Well, you should be worried about the hitter.
Got 2 outs. Davis is going to score whether he's from second or third.
Right.
If he gets a base hit here.
His focus should be directly on the hitter. Davis isn't going anywhere.
Upstairs, he missed again. 2-0. And now Chris Iannetta will go out and talk to Carnes. 3 balls, no strikes. And he's about to turn it over to the top of the order. Carnes walked him. How do you like that? 2 outs, bases empty, gives up a hit, and then walks the next 2 to load him up for Carlos Santana. And now the pitching coach, Mel Stottlemyre Jr. is headed out to the mound.
Well, he wasn't even close in that at-bat to Jimenez. You know, I thought maybe he might have been just being a little more careful to the left-hander with first base open to Tyler Naquin. But when you look at it, 17 balls, 24 strikes, and we're only in the 2nd inning, and he already has 41 pitches, and not out of this inning yet. He has walked 3. He walked Santana to lead the game off in the 1st inning, and now with 2 outs, Naquin and Jimenez, he walked. The Indians only have the 1 hit, and that came with 2 outs here in this inning for Rajai Davis.
Well, let's see if Carlos Santana can make him pay. Santana walked his first time up. Carnes goes back to the windup and finds the strike zone with a fastball. Fouls that pitch back, and now he's in the hole 0-2. What a strange inning. For some reason, Nathan Carnes became obsessed with Rajai Davis and lost focus. And now the 0-2 to Santana popped up out of play.
Well, I don't know what Stottlemyre told him. Probably wasn't much, but
probably said, go back to the windup.
You know,
let's try that.
You know, do that, to throw strikes.
Now the 0-2. It's way up high outside. Not a traditional shift per se here, but you've got Robinson Cano pulled around. He's out on the outfield grass. The shortstop, though, Marte, he's staying on his side of the bag. Now Carnes backs away. Santana lifts a fly ball deep left center. On the run is Aoki. He's on the warning track and makes the catch. Aoki really bailed out Nathan Carnes here in the 2nd inning as the Indians leave him loaded.
Just $15 for kids 12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket. They are located in the family deck at Progressive Field, home to the expanded kids clubhouse. Kids tickets only available at Indians.com.
Adam Lynn takes it. It's a first pitch strike from Josh Tomlin. Lynn 2 for 10 in the series. And chases a breaking ball in the dirt. And it's quickly 0-2. Two-strike pitch, curveball again, but no chase from Lynn. This time John Hirschbeck appeals. Only third base umpire Mike Peklinski said he did not go around. Up foul, that's going to be out of play. Down and in, 2-2. Adam Lynn so far this year has gone 6 for 22 against the Indians. One gets by Tomlin. Off balance throw by Lindor. A nice scoop by Mike Napoli on the other end to get him one away. That's 6-3.
6-3. Once he sees it again, he'll realize it. It's off the end of the bat. He cues it. Had a little English, and that's Francisco Lindor, the shortstop, coming in to make that play on the run. And a nice job on the backside by Mike Napoli on the pick. So they get Lynn, the leadoff hitter, for out number 1.
Ketel Marte. Young man's done a nice job in the series. He's 3 for 6. He has scored 3 runs.
Yeah, that's his job, to create a little excitement down at the bottom part of the order, and he has done that.
And now he boops one to left. Gonna go for 2. Throw by Davis. Offline, and he's safe.
Well, they're looking in here like they want to get a call. Kipnis feels like he tagged him before he got there. And I'll tell you what, Marte did not stop. He challenged Davis, and I think he put the pressure on him to make a perfect throw. He did not hesitate. It was off the end of the bat. So there's Davis. He didn't realize that he was going to go, but he kept the pressure on him. The throw's a little offline. Kipnis comes back to apply the tag, and let's see the second.
Indians are going to challenge
Look at it. Okay, it looks like that glove gets the ankle before he gets to the base. We'll see what happens. You see that foot goes down, but I don't think he's on the base right there until he comes back up. So this is going to be another close one. We had one last night that went the Indians' way. What do you think?
I'm going to go with Barney and Atch. I mean, they've been on a roll.
Yeah, that's what you said last night, and they were right. But you can see where the umpire is sitting on the inside part of the base there. Oh, that's, you know what? When we see the zoom in now, I think that foot might be in there. We'll see. This was like last night's, awful close at first base.
Yeah, this one's not going to be quick. The Indians are 13 for 22 in challenges on the year. well above the league average.
He's hot.
They got him again.
Yeah, he's hot. Boys are hot.
14 now for 24.
So,
14, what did I say before? They were
14 for 23.
13 for 22, so 14 for 23.
Well, and it'll go a single and then give Davis the assist. He throws it in. Kipnis comes in and makes a really nice tag right there. So it goes 7-4. And the run continues.
Now Chris Iannetta with 2 down. Takes a strike. The key there in that situation is decisiveness. You've got to have somebody back there on the phone like Barnett who he can't be going, well, I think maybe, you know, he's got to be decisive. He'll look at everything and then he's got to make the tough call and tell Brad Mills on the other end of the phone, yes, we should challenge this. I think we got a great chance, or I don't know. I don't think we're going to get this one overturned.
And then Millsy has to read what he's saying and tell the skipper and say, hey, let's go.
What's important there is that the three of them have known each other for so long. They can tell by voice inflection alone how much confidence the other guy has in whether or not they should challenge it or not.
Well, they've been pretty successful at it. And, you know, when you think about it, it started out the year where, you know, they dropped a few of them early. But, boy, they've been on a nice roll. And they've had a couple of tough ones here on back-to-back nights. Before we came in here and we talked about it, they went, what, 5 straight games without a challenge.
Yeah. So let's see, what is that now? 14,
23.
They're almost 61%. And the league average as of a couple of days ago was 45%. I mean, there are some teams that are below 20%. Swung out and missed. Josh Tomlin strikes him out, and that'll end the inning. Stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Jason Kipnis will lead off the 3rd inning. It's 1-0 Seattle. This might be playable. Seth Smith makes the catch.
Right there at the stands. His legs were almost locked right in. It was hit foul ball.
Rick, here's the angle that they used to overturn that call in favor of the Indians. That is as about as tight a look as you can get, and there you can see the contact with the foot before it hits the bag.
Yeah,
that's pretty definitive.
Yes, it was.
Andre Knott is downstairs, and I know he's talked to Terry Francona and Brad Mills, and you know we've had conversations with these guys going back to a year ago when the system really kind of got off and running with the challenges and the reviews. Communication is the most important thing, though, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And in any marriage, you need to be able to trust in one another, and I think that's the one thing that they have right now. I think the other thing I've learned with Mike Barnett and sitting with him and Atchison back in the back is Mike Barnett probably could help run part of our game. He knows every angle back there of what camera to use. He knows what cameras to go to, and he says he's got to be quick with it because the one thing that happens with Terry Francona is he wants to say yes or no to the umpires. He doesn't want to hold the game up because he respects the game, and him and Millsy kind of know each other's voice, almost like a marriage couple. You know, he says he knows I got to tell him quick one way or the other, but he has become so good at picking the angle quickly and getting the information back out here to the dugout.
Well, and to kind of further your point, Andre, and I think this is worth sharing with the fans. You know, we had a game recently where we did not televise the game. It was picked up on the network level.
Right.
But they didn't use as many cameras as we used to televise a game. And that Mike Barnett was kind of perplexed by that because he was looking for the angles that we always provide, and he didn't have as many to choose from on that particular day.
And that's not fair. And I think that's the one thing, when they really can get this right, they want all the angles they can possibly get if you want to do this the right way.
Sure.
Because sometimes they get it from the other team.
Sure.
It's not our feed. They want all the feeds they can possibly get if you really want to get this thing right.
Well, you've got that super slow-mo camera, and it just breaks it down like that angle we just showed you. There's a strike to Mike.
You know, that's the one thing I almost don't like about it is that you have to break it down that slow, and it goes frame by frame, and the umpires, nobody ever gets to see it. I mean, you get a one-time call, and you've got to make your decision right there. And we see so many close calls, and when you have to break it down that slowly, that's an awfully tough call for the naked eye.
Arch, I know you don't like it, but just think about over the last 2 weeks how many close calls we're seeing that are called wrong.
No,
you know what I mean? I know what you're saying, but it is amazing how many of these guys miss, because of how fast the game is going.
No question.
Mike Napoli pops it up, and this will end the inning. Robinson Cano backpedaling, he's under it, and the Indians go quickly here in the third, 1-0 Seattle.
Presented by Sports Time Ohio is back and includes your first drink. You can grab some friends and catch the game from the corner or the new drink rails in left field. And district tickets available at Indians.com.
Josh Tomlin goes to work here in the third inning, and Luis Sardinas taking a called strike, the switch hitter. Batting just 200 on the year. And the ground ball is short. Lindor throws him out, one down. Our stat of the game is brought to you by Buick. Chris Sale leading the American League with 9 wins. Josh Tomlin, Chris Tillman are both 8-1. Rich Hill is 8-3, as is Jordan Zimmerman. First, and Napoli has it. 2 quick outs. Injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk, and we just showed you Rich Hill was among the win leaders, but can't win from the DL.
No.
And Justin Morneau signed by the Chicago White Sox, and they designated Matt Latos for assignment. He got off to a great start, but has not pitched well of late.
No. He was 6-2, and they designated him.
Yeah.
So obviously they feel he was done. Now Morneau, boy, they're making a lot of moves early, aren't they?
Well, as I said, they won today. They're 500 at 30-30. A lot of baseball still to go.
Well, they were at one point 23-10. And now they're 30-30. So they're 7-20. Their last 27 ball games.
The 1-0 pitch. It's funny how that can be reversed. You think of you get off to a 7-20 start, and everybody's ready to fire the manager, throw everybody overboard. But if you go 23-7 in your next chunk of games, all of a sudden you get back to 500. The momentum, the feeling is completely different.
Now it can turn in a hurry. You know, whether you're going, you just have to stop the momentum and turn it quickly and stop losing streaks.
That's where Josh Tomlin has been so valuable this year.
Well, he's going to go out. You know he's going to give you a quality start. He's going to give you the opportunity to win a ball game. You know, right now the Indians, they were great coming in here, and they haven't been able to swing the bats. And we know how that can leave you, the hitting with runners in scoring position. I mean, they have 15 hits in the series, and we're in game number 4.
That's hit well. Naquin can't get there. They'll cut it off. But Seth Smith has a 2-out long single. That ball hung in the air for a long time, but they were playing him to pull. And so based on where he hit it, Tyler Naquin just couldn't cover that much ground.
Nope. Not going to get there. Took a long time to get down because it got in on him and it jammed him. And he's reached base safely in 17 of his last 18 games here at his home ballpark. Seth Smith has, so he's been swinging it well here. He likes to hit home. And this is the guy that is the difference in the game. With 2 outs in the first. 2-1 count. Got a ball. It was a fastball right there. Run it away. He didn't get it away and made a mistake, and he made him pay. That was the 11th home run given up by Josh, and the 17th hit by Cano.
Now, you were talking a moment ago about how quickly the momentum can change in the game of baseball. You go back to May 15th, the Indians had just lost 2 out of 3 at home to Minnesota. They were a .500 baseball team in 5 games out of first place. 13 days later, they took over first place in the Central Division. So inside of 2 weeks,
yeah,
they went from 5 games out to top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, it can change.
Well, they're closing the roof. We've got some precipitation lately, just barely falling here at Safeco Field. At Cano, but it's foul. He hammered it, but it is well foul. This roof doesn't take long for it to close.
No, but
either.
I don't think I've seen him close it during the course of a game.
I remember once, it was years ago. I've seen it happen one time where they closed it during a game.
Okay.
Might have been doing radio at that time. But that's why, if you can, you start with the game with the lid open, because you only can make one move during the game. Once they close it, they can't reopen it.
Seems like it's a little colder in here too when the roof is closed.
But if you start with it closed and you decide to open it during the game, and then a cloud burst comes, you can't.
No kidding.
No.
Oh man.
You get one move.
Well, here it comes in the third.
Now a 1-2 pitch, a little bit outside. The cool thing is that they can do it, as you said, while play is going on, because it's just slow enough that you really don't notice it unless you're fixed on it, watching it. But for the players, that doesn't really affect them because you can't hardly tell. Now the 2-2. Fair ball, right field corner. Chisenhall gives chase. Seth Smith is going to be held at third by Acton.
Well, he already had one guy thrown out at home plate. He could not afford this one. Cano gets his second straight hit, and this is going to be a curveball that stayed up, and he hit one last night off Chamberlain, you remember, in the 9th inning or 8th inning down the line, same spot, and had a double. So this one stayed up, but by the time that Chisenhall can get over there and gets it into Kipnis, Acta at third base had to hold him up, and probably the wise move. So it keeps the inning going now with 2 outs.
And 2 on, 2 out. Nelson Cruz to batter, with Kyle Seager waiting on deck. Blowing away ball 1. Nice pitch by Josh. Looked like that cutter.
Yes, it was a little cut fastball on the outside corner, and down and away too. I mean, not only was it outside, but it's at the knees, and he was not going to reach it. He did break his bat and get a base hit his last time up off the end of the bat.
Knocked him up right field. Lonnie Chisenhall coming in, makes the catch. The roof is almost closed, but this one is far from over. 1-0 Seattle through 3. Safeco Field here in Seattle with some rain falling, so they've closed the roof. And it will be the Jose Ramirez, Lonnie Chisenhall, and Rajai Davis for the Indians here in the 4th inning. Player profile brought to you by Levin Furniture. Jose Ramirez usually gets better the more clutch the situation. Down in the dirt.
First time through the lineup, the Indians were just 1 for 6. Carnes did walk 3 guys in that first time through the lineup. Still just 1 hit on the night going into the 4th. Seattle already with 6. It's still a 1-0 ball game.
And a strike called. Full count. Here's the windup and the payoff pitch. And swinging and a miss. Boy, Carnes with his 3rd strikeout. Our AT&T high-speed replay was on this day back in 2014. And Lonnie Chisenhall had a day he'll never forget. 5 hits, 3 homers, 9 runs batted in. He did it all.
Yeah, that's a week. One day, you're not kidding. 5 for 5, 9 ribbies, 3 dingers. Wow.
And a strike to the inside corner. The count is 1-1. Now the 2-2 to Lonnie. Off his foot. You know, imagine if we had a roof in Cleveland. There would be a lot of people at the ballpark that wouldn't know what to do because they wouldn't have a lot, anything to complain about.
Tell you what, it would be nice. You know you're going to play. You wouldn't have delays. I think the grounds crew would be happy.
So you're looking at it from a serious standpoint. Fouled right back.
Well, it rains a lot in Cleveland throughout the course of the year. You know, so
right, think about all those people that complain. They wouldn't have anything. What would they do with themselves? The 2-2. Check and glanced off the bat.
Well, we wouldn't complain either.
Oh, man. Oh, it's raining like, what would Jim Folk do all day?
He wouldn't have to be on his phone for most of the night, I can tell you that. He'd save on his phone bill.
It'd be like those commercials where they have the chainsaw. He'd slash his bill in half.
Yes, you would.
Oh, again, Lonnie Chisnall's having himself quite an at-bat here. This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat. And the 2-2 from Carnes. And Lonnie with a ground ball, base hit into right field.
Ends up winning that battle. A good at bat by Chisenhall right there. On the 9th pitch, he gets a base hit.
Lonnie's 3rd hit in the series.
$15 total bases in that game. One shy of the Rocky record, who had 4 homers back in '59. That's a day to remember.
Well, Lonnie is the tying run at first base with 1 out here in the 4th inning. Rajai Davis, the Indians' other hit this last time up. This is just a lazy pop to right. And that's out number 2. They'll bring up Tyler Naquin. Naquin drew a walk his first time up, and that's where things started to go haywire for Nathan Carnes. There were 2 outs, the bases were empty, and Rajai Davis got a single. Then he stole second, and when he stole second, Carnes forgot how to pitch. He ended up walking Tyler Naquin, then he walked Chris Jimenez on 4 pitches. The bases were loaded, and then Santana scorched one to deep left center that Aoki made a nice running catch on the warning track, and then he's just gone right back to kind of dialing it in again. But for whatever reason, he just sort of lost it there in that 2nd inning, but he escaped.
Well, Santana ended up hitting this ball to left center. He didn't drive it that way. It had a little hang time and allowed Aoki to catch up to it. Catch it on the track, sliding, but if he wasn't there, that would have cleared the bases.
And he's not the guy they really look to in center field.
No.
Leonis Martin is on the DL.
He's going to be coming back. He's out on rehab tonight, playing in the minor leagues. He'll be back tomorrow for the series against Texas. He's an excellent center fielder, but they have to use Aoki out there, who's normally a left fielder.
And Smith usually DHs.
Yeah, and it's not, you know, this is a place where you need your best defender out there. And Martin should be back for him tomorrow, unless something happens tonight in his game he's playing out in the minor leagues.
Well, Tyler Naquin down on the count, 1-2. Shoots a fastball up and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Strikes him out. 4th K for Carnes. And the Indians strand a runner here in the 4th inning. Seattle still leads it 1-0. Thanks, Al. Kyle Seager going to lead it off here in the bottom of the fourth for the Mariners. And Josh Tomlin fouls it. Or rather, Seager fouled it into the Seattle dugout. Almost took out a couple of guys. Tomlin's given up 1 run. It was a 2-out solo home run by Robinson Cano in the first inning. But he has given up hits. They had 3 straight hits, including the homer and a double in the first. They had a double in the third. 1 base hit in the second inning. That could have been a double. Well, it was a double until the Indians challenged to play at second base and got it overturned, and Marte was ruled out. A throw by Rajai Davis. So Seattle has swung the bats well. The Indians really have yet to find their bats in this entire series. That's hit pretty well to left. Back goes Rajai. And just shy of the warning track, he pulls it down. 1 away. Well, this was a big play in the first inning. Rajai to Lindor to Jimenez, and Cruz was erased. Otherwise, if he scores, it's 2 runs in, and maybe they're still batting.
And then Martin coming in to second base. He challenged him, and he was up for the occasion. So a couple assists tonight for Davis out in left field.
Adam Lind grounded to short his first time up. There is Lindor behind Josh Tomlin to make the play. 2 away in the fourth. Hey, if you need interviews, highlights, injury updates, scores, instant alerts, all on your favorite teams and rivals, just download the all-new Fox Sports app. Or you can also visit foxsports.com/app, and you'll have everything you need. Ketel Marte had that single in the second. I shouldn't even say he tried to stretch it. He was going full bore for second the whole way.
Never hesitated.
And it was a nice throw by Rajai. Better tag by Kipnis. And the Indians challenged it and won it.
Yeah, he came out of the box like you're supposed to. And just kept right on going and made it awfully close. Originally called safe.
It was kind of a weird hit. Almost like he hit it off the end of the bat. It only went about 30 feet past third base, but it just dropped in perfectly. Now the 1-2 pitch. Slowly chopped. Here's Lindor. And Tomlin flies through the fourth. It remains Seattle 1, Cleveland 0. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. Seattle with a 1-0 lead as we go to the 5th inning. Chris Jimenez, Carlos Santana, and Jason Kipnis for the Indians here in the 5th inning. Foul back. Well, we've settled one thing. We now know for sure that when it comes to dealing with the harsh weather, us Ohioans are much tougher than the Washingtonians. What do you call them? Washingtonians? Whatever. The people that live up here. I mean, we're sitting here in our dress shirts. Sarah's got her winter coat on. Josh has got a pullover on.
Yeah.
It's 62 degrees.
Well, I know this is chilly. It's damp though, but
okay,
it's damp for them.
Chilled to the bone.
You know, you look around here and you talk about that roof. I know they have one, but I don't see it. The tarp.
Yeah.
Do you see a tarp on the field?
I can't say that I do.
Unless it, I don't know where they would keep it.
Swing and a miss by Jimenez. And that's 5 Ks for Carnes. One down here in the 5th. T-Mobile, greater coverage of baseball. Taijuan Walker has dominated against the Indians.
Yeah, he has their number, no doubt about it. 2 walks, 31 strikeouts in his 28 innings. Pitched a gem.
I'm assuming they probably got the tarp somewhere where, you know, if they need it, they can go get it. If they don't need it, readily available. You know, because they can always close the roof if they want to put it on.
Only way they need it if there was a leak.
Yeah. Maybe Andre's sitting on the tarp down there.
Boys, I've been told it's hidden in center field if needed.
That's what I figured.
But it's here.
Okay.
I'd like to see him try and get it out from center field and roll it in.
Well, probably get stuck in the track here because it's wet.
Well, they wouldn't let him come on the track because they're too busy raking and watering.
It's the best track in the business, baby.
I don't know. I saw an awful lot of gum out there today.
I wonder why that happened.
2-0 pitch. Santana swinging for the downs, fouled it straight back. Andre got pelted during our open segment.
I think it was done by design.
Yeah, well. Now, are you chewing all that bubble gum behind you there?
I'm saving it up just in case. I want to keep the track nice and clean.
Your mom called and she said, "Lay off the chewing gum, the bubble gum."
I got a dentist appointment when we get back.
All right, watch the.
Oh, I got. Ooh.
You took. Wow.
And then the moose came and messed with me too. Look at this guy.
Concentration, though. You're a pro.
Look at the moose looking at him.
Slider, I need help.
I think the moose likes you.
Yeah, I got a thing with some people like that.
Anybody care to guess how old the Mariner Moose is?
Let me think about that. I'm going to say 30.
26. Debuted in 1990. They had a contest for kids, school age kids.
Right.
I think. And I remember it was maybe an 8th grader. It was a teenage kid that came up with the idea. And they had over thousands of entries for a Mariner mascot. But that's the first mascot they had.
Yeah.
They didn't have an old crusty Mariner.
I don't trust him to drive. A reckless.
Not only that, but remember he blew his ankle out on the roller skates in the Kingdom.
Right.
3-2 pitch. Santana draws his second walk tonight. One out base runner here in the 5th. Yeah, he broke his ankle, and that same year, Slider blew his knee out. It's a battle of wounded mascots in the ALCS.
Even the mascots have to be athletic.
Do you remember that in the old Kingdom? They'd have that four-wheeler,
Yes,
and then
I
the
did.
mascot would be on like rollerblades.
That's
He would
right.
sort of like look like he was skiing behind the four-wheeler. Evidently, something happened. He crashed into the wall.
Well, that had seams in it.
That turf,
yeah, it did. So you hit the wrong seam. There you go. Down goes Moose. Back goes Iannetta to talk to him. He has walked 4 tonight. He's walked Santana twice, one in the first and, of course, right here in the fifth. But do you remember in the second when he had his issues, he walked back-to-back guys, Naquin and Jimenez, that gave them the opportunity to score, but they couldn't get a base hit. Nice play to end that inning.
A lot of ups and downs during the course of a baseball season, and this is one of those periods where the Indians hitters just collectively are all they're sort of stuck in neutral. And I don't know if it's one of those deals where a hit in a key time could bust them loose, or if it might just take a big inning, or what it's going to take.
I think it could be, because when you think about what they were doing back home, they were hitting a long ball against Kansas City. You know, it's not that they were driving in the runs with runners in scoring position. They don't have a hit with a runner in scoring position in this series, but they haven't hit the long ball either. They haven't really had many hits.
Yeah, Lonnie had the solo homer, but it was when the horses had already left the barn.
Yeah, it was a 7-0 ball game at the time.
Rache had a homer in the series opener, which they won.
Shot.
Well, back-to-back walks for the second time tonight, and Nathan Carnes. And look at Scott Service. Go talk to him again. Mike Montgomery is getting loose in the Seattle pen. Well, it looked like he motioned for Iannetta to go talk to him, but he never left from behind home plate. Now he's going to. That was the ultimate stall.
Slow played him.
My goodness. Well, during this brief pause in the action, let me tell you that the Oakland Country Club in Pittsburgh will host the 116th U.S. Open Championship. Coverage begins Thursday, June 16th on FS1 through the final round on Sunday, June 19th on Fox. You can watch the whole thing on Fox Sports Go. Now here comes Scott Service. Oh, why not?
Well, 1-0 ball game. You can see Service wants to. He wants this game. His starter, he says, you walk 2, I'm going to my bullpen.
After his 5th walk of the night, Nathan Carnes is getting the hook in a 1-0 ball game with 1 out in the 5th inning. You don't see that every day.
No, you do not.
The Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made for the left-hander Montgomery, and we'll be back to Seattle right after this. Fifth inning. Number 37 is Mike Montgomery, 22nd appearance of the year. And he's facing Francisco Lindor. We saw Montgomery in the series opener, and he was sharp in 2 innings, struck out 2, 6 up, 6 down. He was perfect. Struck out Lindor. Frankie looking for some revenge. He is 1 for 12 in the series. Batting from the right side where he's had most of his success this year. Takes ball 1. Juno.
Well, you can see a .352 hitter from this side of the plate. Sitting in a pretty good count right now, 2-0. He could sit on something to his liking.
And it's just foul third base side.
They got their hands full there, don't they?
Well, Montgomery is not faring much better than Carnes. 3-1 to count on Lindor, with Mike Napoli waiting on deck. Let's see how selective Napoli is right here. Excuse me, Lindor is right here. Not time call. Out back out of play. So a full count. Slow Chapper back to the mound. They go to second for 1 on the first. Not in time. As Lindor beats it out. First and third, 2 away.
Montgomery, you know, it's one hopper, but he was going up on the mound and he didn't really give him a strong feed. Coming down the backside of that mound, he almost throws a changeup to Cano. So he wasn't going to be able to turn. It just wasn't thrown hard enough or hit hard enough to turn the double play. But they get the runner at second. It'll leave runners at the corners for Mike Napoli now with 2 outs.
Well, Napoli called out on strikes in the first inning, popped up in the third. Montgomery misses down and in, ball 1.
He's having a tough time finding the strike zone now. 8 pitches, 5 balls, and 3 strikes.
Wow. Almost plunked him there. 3-0. expected. That's the third walk in the inning for Seattle pitching. And they're loaded up for Jose Ramirez, and here comes the pitching coach, Mel Stottlemyre.
Well, that's 6 walks on the evening for the Indians. They have 2 hits, but they have walked 6 times.
Well, this is the guy you want up, even though he's
yes, it is.
Had a tough series like just about everybody in his lineup. We showed you the numbers earlier. As the situations get tougher or more clutch, that's when Ramirez gets better. His batting average is better. As you look, 2 outs, runners in scoring position, 391.
Well, that's the hit they need. And they need it desperately. It'll be the first hit in the series. If they could get it with a runner on base, now would be the perfect time.
Bases loaded, though, has been vexing for Cleveland this year. Just 3 for 24 as a team with the bags juiced. Guess who has one of the 3 hits?
I'm going to say Jose.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. Curveball missed. 1-1 to count. Carlos Santana is at third base. Lindor at second. Napoli at first. Hammer deep left field. If it's fair, it's a slam, and it is a foul ball.
Not by much, was it?
At least that's the call on the field. I gotta tell you, from my vantage point, I thought it was fair. Let's take another look. Everybody in the dugout's looking back to the phone. They want to see if there's a challenge coming, and it's foul.
I don't see it. Oh, there it is.
Yep. Boy, just barely to the left of that pole, but it was pretty clear. And now the 1-2. And he shoots it into right field, a base hit. Santana scores the tying run. Here comes Lindor with the go-ahead run. Throw to the plate. He is out. Great throw by Nelson Cruz, and Lindor was out by a good 10 feet. Indians tie it. Look at the throw by Cruz, right on the money. And that's the way the inning ends, 1-1. Seattle that they didn't lose the The Indians didn't take the lead. It's a 1-1 ball game. Thanks to a good throw by Nelson Cruz in right field. Chris Iannetta will lead it off here in the bottom of the 5th and takes outside. Pounds the strike zone to even the count of 2-2. Strikes him out. Third K for Tomlin. One away in the 5th inning.
This is our Circle K strikeout tonight. You're going to see a little breaking ball down and away. He gets Iannetta to swing over the top of it. So he has gotten Iannetta twice tonight. 3. He hasn't walked anybody. And Josh is going to try and get that offense right back into the dugout as quickly as possible.
Upstairs, ball 1. Sardinius grounded out his only time up back in the 3rd. Last time Tomlin pitched was when the Indians wore the sweet 1976 throwback blue tops at home. Throws it by him, 2-2. Big slow hook, and Sardini's laid off in it. That's one of those pitches where I don't know, looked pretty good.
I thought I saw him flinch.
Yeah, I
from,
think so.
From this vantage point.
So few pitchers throw a big curveball anymore. I think it fools sometimes. Not that it fools an umpire, but they just don't expect it. Keeps fouling these pitches off is because he can't hit them fair if he wanted to. Most of these pitches are.
That looked like it was way in off the plate.
Yeah. And he's finally out looking. 4th strikeout for Tomlin. He's fanned the first 2 here in inning number 5.
Well, you can help get Frankie, Kip, Napoli, and the rest of the tribe to the All-Star game. Voting is now open. You vote up to 35 times to help get your favorite Indians player to the Midsummer Classic in San Diego. Go to Indians, visit Indians.com.
Nori Aoki is 0 for 2 tonight, 2 out of 13 in the series. Towards center, and it'll be a base hit. 7th hit allowed by Tomlin tonight, but it comes with 2 outs in the inning. Seth Smith will be the batter, and he's 1 out of 2 tonight. He singled in the third. Umpires in the stands didn't like it. Well, Seth Smith's going to delay the game.
Yeah, he's going to stay
out
out there, and he's not going to get into that batter's box because he doesn't like it.
I wonder if he'll get a letter. Oh, man. I'll tell you what, give that ball girl all the credit in the world. She got in front of that thing. And
to go off the glove?
I don't know. She got after it, but this thing. Oh.
I don't know if she got leather on that or that's why they have the helmets on.
I think she got, yeah, I think the helmet might have saved her there, but that's. Kid's got a lot of spirit. Now the 0-2. And smashed to short. Ramirez goes to second. They get the inning-ending force. Nice play by Jose Ramirez with that shift on. He went to the outfield grass, made a spinning throw right on the money to Frankie Lindor, and it's 1-1 after 5. Toyota dealers. Robinson Cano with a 2-out solo homer in the first, accounting for the Mariners' only run. Indians got a 2-out RBI single by Jose Ramirez in the fifth that tied it. Frankie Lindor was thrown out trying to give the Indians the lead on the same play. That's where we stand, sixth inning. A no decision for Nathan Carnes. He allowed 1 run and 4 1/3, walked 5, struck out 5, gave up 2 hits. Mike Montgomery stays in the ball game, and a first pitch strike to Lonnie Chisenhall. Right to the third baseman, Sardinas. 1 away. Well, today is the Major League Baseball draft. And the Indians selected an athletic outfielder out of Georgia, 6'6", Will Benson, 14th overall pick. Nolan Jones out of Pennsylvania, an infielder with a second-round selection, and then a catcher with their third pick today. Big curveball way outside. Will Benson, the young man the Indians selected with the 14th overall pick. He's still a week away from turning 18 years old. 6'6", 220 pounds. In 35 games his senior year, he batted .454. He had 8 homers, drove in 41. Left-handed hitter, and he throws left-handed as well. He threw 29 walks. He was 11 out of 12 in stolen base attempts. So for a guy 6'6", stealing bases, that's impressive.
Big boy.
He was also a terrific basketball player and had signed a national letter of intent to go to Duke for basketball, or for baseball, excuse me. You just think he's a good basketball player. He's going to Duke to play hoops. No, no, no. No, no, no. He was going to go to Duke maybe to play baseball, but looks like he'll be starting his professional career with the Cleveland Indians. Shattered bat, bounce to the third. And Sardinas has handled the first 2 outs in this 6th inning. And up comes Tyler Naquin. Baseball draft obviously so much different than the football or basketball draft, where guys can have an immediate impact. Many of the players drafted today will be 3 years minimum away from,
you would think so,
getting to the big leagues, and some even drafted today, first day draft selection. Some you will never hear of. They will never make it to the big leagues. That's just the nature of the business.
It certainly is.
Naquin chases one down low, 1-1. And then there will be guys selected in rounds 10, 15,
14,
20.
right.
And they'll make it to the big leagues somewhere down the road.
You never heard of them until they get to the big leagues.
Naquin pops one a fairly deep center, but Aoki runs it down, and the inning is over. Tribe goes 1, 2, 3. Middle of the 6th, tied at 1 in Seattle.
perks, including savings and access to Tribe Rewards. Today's Tribe Rewards TV code is Roberto. Visit Indians.com season tickets for complete details.
Robinson Cano leading it off. He's 2 for 2. His home run gave the Mariners their only run of the night in the first. And Rick, we were just talking about the draft and guys who are drafted on this first day get all the publicity, and rightfully so. They've put themselves in this position by having outstanding amateur careers. But we also said that there will be guys that are drafted today that you'll never hear of. They'll never make it. And there are guys that will get picked in the coming days in the later rounds that will make it. How about Josh Tomlin, a 19th round pick by the Indians, and that was way back in 2006. So 10 years ago, the Indians invested a 19th round pick on a kid out of Texas Tech, and now he's sitting there trying to run his record at 9-1 and put himself in position to maybe get a berth on the All-Star team.
And it goes to show you, he's missed a couple of years with injuries and had to battle back and had to fight his way through everything and fight his way up the minor league system before he got his break to get to the major leagues. Because the farther you go down that draft list, the less money you have invested in you, and it takes a lot more. I think a lot more work or breaks to get yourself up to the big league level.
Yeah, that's the business side of it that we tend to sometimes forget, but there is a business side of it. And as you point out, if you've got a lot of money invested in a player, he's going to get more opportunities than, say, a guy that you drafted in the 30th round.
Yes, he will. I mean, if it comes and you're head to head with a 30th round pick and you're a high round pick, you know who's going to win that one.
2 down as Lindor takes care of Nelson Cruz. Let's go down to Andre. He talked to Terry Francona before the ball game, and hey, Tito was a Golden Spikes Award winner coming out of college.
Absolutely. He was. The funny thing for him was this big jumbotron here at Safeco. We were watching the draft, the first round of the draft, and I asked him how weird it is to watch the draft, and he says he sat around home with his mom and dad when he was drafted, hoping for the phone to ring. And he says when it wasn't ringing, he said he felt stupid that he had left the University of Arizona. But he just talked about how different it is and the pressure that there is and how much you know about these guys compared to when he was drafted. He said he was lucky. The only thing he negotiated was to get 1 week off. He says his dad walked away with the guy that drafted him. He got Sunday to Sunday off. When he came back, he says he signed and he was on the ball field 3 hours later.
Wow. Now Seager pops one to right. And Josh Tomlin breezes through the 6th inning. 3 up, 3 down. We'll go to the 7th. Deadlocked at 1 in Seattle. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partner of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. By Ford, built Ford tough. And by Subway, fresh is what we do. We go to the 7th inning, and Seattle goes back to their bullpen. The new pitcher is Edwin Diaz. We saw him the other night in his major league debut, and he's got an electrifying arm.
Yeah, that he does. He can get it up there. Long, lanky, and flings it, and it gets up there in a hurry. He pitched an inning the other night, had a strikeout. He's going to face Jimenez and then back up to the top of the lineup, Santana and Kipnis.
Like Josh Tomlin, Chris Jimenez was a 19th round selection by the Indians back in 2004. Edwin Diaz is 22 years old, out of Puerto Rico. He was a 3rd round selection of the Mariners 4 years ago. The 98th overall player picked that year. Been a starter his entire professional career, but Jerry DiPoto and the Mariners organization looked at him and said, you know, this kid's arm, we think he can help us now out of the bullpen. He hasn't been able to develop that so-called 3rd pitch that you need to have in the mix if you're going to be a starter. You know, if you're going to go through a lineup 2-3 times, you need to have more than just 2 pitches generally.
Did you see Iannetta tell him just slow down, throw me that nice fastball. Don't get overamped here.
It's an easy 95 coming out of his hands, but they feel like now that he's not starting, that velocity could easily sit at 97 and 98. And there's a big difference from 95, which is usually good enough, to 98.
It better be good enough. 95. I'm thinking about 93 is when, you know, you can start getting up above there. It's tough to center the ball.
There's an off-speed pitch, but he walked him. And Chris Jimenez is aboard for the Indians with the go-ahead run here in the 7th inning. Andre, what's your read on Edwin Diaz?
Tito says he completely understands after watching the first night out why Diaz is now in relief. He says if a guy can't figure out a 3rd pitch and he's got this type of talent, this type of arm, he says maybe he figures it out by putting him in this situation, and he's a wild card for their bullpen because they can use him wherever. So he totally understands why they did it. He said he didn't want to see him again until we left. He didn't get that choice, though.
Well, Carlos Santana swings the first pitch, pops it back. You talk about roof scrape.
Well, the Indians have drawn 7 walks tonight. They have 3 hits, so they have had their share of base runners. They've left 7 stranded to this point.
Santana, who walked in the 5th, came around to score the only run for the Indians tonight. And that came on a 2-out hit by Jose Ramirez. Usually you get a couple of walks, then you get the base hit and you end up with a big inning, but it just hasn't worked for them tonight.
That was their first hit in the series with a runner in scoring position. And it doesn't surprise you, it came off the bat of Jose Ramirez.
Then again, this is only the 2nd time tonight they've had the leadoff man on base. It happened in the first one. Santana walked to start the game, but they were unable to take advantage of that. They went 1, 2, 3. Santana strikes out. 1 down.
Comes down with a good breaking ball out of the zone, gets Santana to swing and miss, swing over the top of it. So he's walked one, struck one out.
Jason Kipnis 0 for 2. Sticking with our draft theme, Kipnis was a second-round pick back in 09 by the Indians. Now the 2-0. And a pop back out of play. Time called as Chris Jimenez goes to lace him up down at first. You know, the draft has changed so much, really, in all sports. I mean, I think now in every sport, the draft is televised. And baseball's draft, I think, because it's unique and it takes long for guys to get from drafted to the big leagues, it's probably maintained its status as sort of an anonymous event up until last year, and now this year. You know, now the draft is live, it's on television. I mean, when you were drafted, when did you find out that you had been drafted? Did you find out right away?
I found out, yeah, when they made the pick on the telephone. They call you. Says, congratulations, we just drafted you number 1.
And there were reporters at your house?
There was. Yeah, there were some there with friends, family waiting.
Howard Cosell standing by?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was the boys over there, Pat, Frankie, and those guys, you know, family and friends.
Lindor trying to deal with 2 outs here, and he hammers one deep right field near the line. It's a fair ball up against the wall. Cruz digs it out, and Jimenez has to stop at third. So Francisco Lindor comes up with a big 2-out hit, but Jimenez could not score on the play, so it'll take another 2-out hit to break the tie.
Well, he picks on a breaking ball. He hammered it. He just hit it too hard. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
I don't care who was running. They weren't going to score, even if it is Chris Jimenez, but there's no way he could get home, and anybody that could run, they would have had to stop him.
Yeah. The only shot they had is if that ball would have hit the wall, maybe died and gone literally into the corner.
Yeah.
Or he had to go dig it out. But
just hit it too hard, so it's 2nd and 3rd now. We'll give Napoli an opportunity.
And Mike Napoli's another one of those guys that was sort of a you know, maybe overlooked, a late bloomer. He was a 17th round pick by the Angels back in 2000. Blowing away ball 1. Mike was drafted out of high school. You kind of forget that he came up with the Angels. Ball back out of play.
Came up with the Angels as a catcher.
And then, you know, I had forgotten too, Rick, that the Angels traded him to Toronto to get Vernon Wells. But the following day or so after they traded him, Toronto turned around and dealt him to Texas. So he never actually donned the Blue Jays uniform. He's got himself in a good spot here. 2-1. Second and third, 2 down in the seventh. And Napoli has come up with a lot of big hits this year for Cleveland. And there's yet another one. In the hole, Marte will have no play, and the Indians have the lead. Mike Napoli with a 2-out RBI single. Marte did a nice job to save a second run. I think Chu would have scored on that play if it gets by him.
No question, with 2 outs, Lindor would have been off and running. And that leadoff walk in that inning ends up coming back to hurt Diaz. He makes a nice play to save a run. He wanted to get up and throw it, but he wouldn't have had a chance to get Napoli at first. You can see how long it took him to get up. He had to slide and just hold on to the baseball, but that goes a 2-out base hit. So back-to-back innings. Well, no, I'm sorry, they had a quick one, but they get another 2-out hit here to give them a 2-1 lead.
Of Napoli's 43 RBIs this year, Rick, 9 of them have given the Indians a lead. Jose Ramirez looks at a ball up and away, and a nice stab by Iannetta. So the Indians get to Edwin Diaz, the kid with the electrifying arm. And it was the big 2-out hit by Francisco Lindor that set up the inning. And then Mike Napoli delivers the tie-breaking hit. Ramirez cuts and misses at a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Vidal Nuno getting loose in the Seattle pen right now, another left-hander. Just inside. Actually, I was thinking Seattle had 3 lefties, but it's just Montgomery who pitched earlier and Nuno. Those are the 2 southpaws in their pen.
Yeah, they have, I think, Charlie Furbush on the disabled list.
You are correct, sir. Yep. Tony Zick, remember we saw him earlier in there. He's on the DL as well.
That kid threw the ball well in Cleveland. They may be talking right now that just in case the Indians try and steal a run in this situation. You know, if they tried to send Napoli with Lindor on third, what they're going to do. But with the Indians, Napoli's not going anywhere. You've got your best hitter up and drove in the first run with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. So you're not going to do anything with this guy.
Popped him up. This is not playable. Well, we said it at the time, Rick, when Ramirez was up there with the bases loaded and 2 outs. The bigger the situation, the better he gets this year. And
well, I got to tell you, I don't know where they'd be without this guy, the way he's done it. All things considered, Brantley has been out most of the year. He's played a lot of left field. He's played some third base. He's been key. He's moved into the number 5 hole a lot of times when Santana leads off. So he's been a blessing for this team.
Strikes out here, but the Indians break the tie on a 2-out RBI infield single by Mike Napoli. It's 2-1 Cleveland. Stretch time in Seattle. Bottom of the 7th inning. And for the Mariners, there's 6, 7, and 8 spots in the lineup. Adam Lind, 0 for 2, leads it off. And just like that, we are tied at 2. Adam Lind with his 7th home run of the year.
That's how the Mariners have got on the board tonight. 2 solo home runs. One swing of the bat, and we have a new ball game. Lind his 7th. Not sure if that was a changeup or not.
Big curveball in for a strike to Ketel Marte. That's just the way it goes. It seems like the Indians have had to fight, scratch, and claw to just get a run. And the Mariners tonight, just two swings of the bat have accounted for both of theirs. A couple of solo blasts. The Indians have needed two out singles, and both set up by the walk. Here is Chris Iannetta, 0 for 2, struck out twice tonight. In tight. And a strike call on the inside corner. Up the middle. And Iannetta on a 1-2 pitch. Here's the go-ahead run now at first base.
The 9th hit for the Mariners, and out comes Tito. He's going to make a move as you get that pitch right there. He left that one up a little bit. He got enough of it. He got the ground ball, but it gets into center field. So it looks like Tomlin's night is going to be over.
So we got a timeout for a pitching change in Seattle, and a tie ball game. Dan Otero will be next. It's baseball night in America. Cardinals Pirates at 7 Eastern on Fox. And the Indians Angels in a game you'll only see on FS1 at 9:30 Eastern, or you can watch it live on Fox Sports Go. And Dan Otero, with a runner at first and 1 out, facing Luis Sardinas. He was 0 for 2 tonight. Lifted, foul, out of play. Final right back again. Strikes him out. Good pitching by Dan Otero, 2 away.
Wasted no time. Went with that good hard sinker. Watch this ball go down and away. He gets a piece of it, but right into the glove, and that ball had to be 6 inches to a foot outside. But it goes in, it sticks in the glove of Jimenez. They get out number 2. Now back up to the top of the lineup.
Nori Aoki is 1 for 3 tonight and 3 for 14 in the series. Swing and a miss. It's 1-1.
Just trying to take that ball the other way, but it's got such good movement coming in from Otero. It's tough to center. He likes that ball where he can hit it the other way as he's on his way out of the batter's box.
Thumbs, and somehow he got the bat to it.
Yeah, he had to dig that one out. That was an emergency swing.
And the pitch is pulled foul. Dan Otero, at 31 years of age, was originally a 21st round pick back in 07 by the San Francisco Giants, making him the 644th overall player selected that year. Threw the bat at it. Lindor goes to second for the inning-ending force. Adam Lynn has tied the game with a solo shot here in the 7th, and we move to the 8th, even up at 2 apiece. telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Two-two, eighth inning. And Seattle goes back to their bullpen once again. Fourth man to work tonight is Joaquin Benoit. And he'll be facing Lonnie Chisenhall, Rajai Davis, and Tyler Naquin.
Benoit gave up the home run to Chisenhall in the 7-1 ball game. And that's who's going to lead off for the Indians.
Lonnie was a first-round pick of the Indians back in 2008. He has 3 hits in the series. And that one's to left field, but Smith was there to grab it. 1 down. Well, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Back in 1995 here in Seattle, the American League Championship Series. Pass ball, 1-run scores, and lofted all the way around from second.
The element of surprise, huh? Look at that, the excitement. And Dan Wilson was, he's here. He was in uniform the night before the game. So he's still around the area. Who was the catcher in that ball game for Seattle.
Was there a more fun plane ride that you can ever remember? That was a long one too, but it was fun.
Yeah, you're right. It was, yes. It's a great series, a lot of fun that year.
Do you remember after that game waiting to get on the bus to go to the airport, sitting in the dugout, and they were rolling up the turf because they had an NFL game coming? Like the Seahawks were getting ready to play a home game maybe the next day or two. I just remember watching them take up the turf thinking, man, that changed in a hurry.
I don't remember that.
Pitch is upstairs, 2-1.
Base, make something happen.
He's been doing that his whole career. You know, he was a 38th round pick.
Was he really?
We're talking about guys who make it.
Boy, oh boy. He's ended up having a nice career.
He was a 38th round pick of the Pirates back in 2001. Ground ball foul. Rajai played for the same manager for his first 3 seasons in the minor leagues, a guy by the name of Tony Beasley. And Beasley said when they were in Class A at Hickory, North Carolina in 2003, that's when he said he changed. He said something just clicked. I don't know what it was. Something happened. He just got it, and he just took off.
But you can't explain it, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty weird.
Check was low. The appeal, he did not go. Beasley even was quoted as saying that Rajai was never disrespectful, but he always had the confidence and would say, I know I can do this. He always believed that there was a way he could make it. He just believed in himself.
Well, you have to have that belief if you're going to come up through the minor leagues and you're a 30th round draft pick or whatever. Yes, indeed, you better.
And Davis draws a walk. So the go-ahead run aboard for the Indians. And he's been a terror. He has already stolen a base tonight, 14 on the year. This was a close pitch.
Well, they're complaining on the other side because there were pitches like that they thought were high enough, and that's a pretty darn good looking pitch. But look at Benoit. He can't believe it. He thought he had a strikeout. Now he's going to have to work from the stretch and concentrate.
That's his former teammate. He knows what he did. You know, he didn't want to walk him.
No, you're right. And that's what Davis wanted to do. He wanted to get on somehow. That's why he tried to bunt. Well, he's on now.
Yeah, Tyler Naquin takes a strike.
For a big man, he gets rid of the ball quickly to home plate. If you're a base stealer, he's going to give his catcher an opportunity to make a good throw, as he is just barely over a second.
Quick feed and then kind of a slow motion lob toss over first.
That was like Carrasco's quick pitch. They stepping off the rubber. Except he had to throw to first base. Carrasco threw the ball home. Remember that? How weird that was.
Davis takes off. Oh, he had a great jump, and Naquin fouled it back. So instead of letting him steal it, Naquin took a cut, fouls it back, and now Rajay has to return.
Well, for Davis, I give him credit, man. He takes off as early as he can to try and give the hitter an opportunity. But, you know, it's not an easy thing when you're stealing bases to pick it if a guy doesn't want to give you an opportunity. But now they have the option. They can do a couple of things with an 0-2 count. They could throw just a fastball up and away. They don't have to go to anything. And this is a tough pitch to steal on 0-2.
Naquin clubs one. Deep right field. Cruz back. He's out of room. It's out of here. Tyler Naquin on an 0-2 pitch puts the Indians in front 4-2. A stunning turn of events here at Safeco Field in Seattle. How do you like that?
That was a splitter that he picked up off the ground, and it looked like he was fooled. He had a ball like that in Cleveland. Look at that. You talk about a golf shot and keeping the hands back. That's not even close to being a strike. But he golfs that ball out of the ballpark. And that is a 2-run home run. The Indians take a 4-2 lead. My goodness, that was not even close to being a strike.
Two-out hits are one thing. But for a pitcher to give up an 0-2 home run has got to be absolutely demoralizing.
It is demoralizing, but you can't. That was a ball. When he didn't throw it, it's not like he made a mistake. He threw a good pitch. Watch where he picks this ball up from.
Wow, that's below the kneecap,
no
doubt about it.
That ball was not even close to being a strike. Naquin, my goodness, hit that ball out of the ballpark. I can't believe it. First of all, he thought he had Davis struck out. He ended up walking him. Then he gives up the 2-run home run on an 0-2 pitch that he thought was nowhere going to be found. He hits it out of the ballpark.
Naquin was the Indians' first-round pick 4 years ago. And in his rookie campaign, he's done a fantastic job swinging the bat. That's 4 home runs for Tyler. He has 3 doubles, couple of triples. And Jimenez takes it in for a strike 2 and 2 the count. Benoit was literally shocked. You could see he was looking out there going, how did that just go out of here?
I was shocked. I'm telling you, you don't see pitches like that hit out of the ballpark. That is unbelievable. And you know what? He hit one like that in Cleveland on a changeup he hit out to right center field in the Kansas City series.
It's one thing to say that a left-handed hitter's wheelhouse is down and in.
Well, we showed you the shot from the side where he had the golfer, but even looking from before, you know, from the center field camera angle, that ball was way down.
Had a little bit of that Kirk Gibson off Dennis Eckersley feel to it, didn't it? You know, just kind of threw the bat out and boom.
His was down and in a little bit more.
He just exploded. Now a 2-ball, 2-strike count for Chris Jimenez. And now a full count.
Check this home run. Check this pitch out. Look at that.
Wow.
It's just that he waited.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can say. An 0-2 pitch down there, and you look at him.
He's looking back.
Yeah.
Like,
he's looking at the catcher like, what am I supposed to do? He can't believe it. He's in shock. And I would be too.
Little tapper back to the mound. Benoit with a bare hand grab. Throw it away. Chris Jimenez will go to second base on the error by Benoit. I don't know if that's a residue of the frustration he felt after giving up the home run, or if he barehanded it, but then it looked like he tried to re-grip it.
Well, let's see.
He puts it in the glove, he re-grips it, and then
he just threw it. That was not good. He had time. It's just unraveled on him in this inning. There's not a thing that could happen that he did right in this inning. I mean, he thought he did. So now you're just giving him some time off. And don't let it get out of control. But watch, he gets there and he puts it in the glove. He's got a grip on it. It looks fine. He just threw a nice sinker.
You know, his base was wide and he never really shortened up and took a stride. And I think that might have been part of the reason why that ball just took off on him. That's called a strike, and Santana can't believe it. Carlos has walked twice, scored a run tonight. Brad Shaw ready in the Cleveland bullpen. He'll be coming on to pitch the bottom of the 8th. Santana with a ground ball into the teeth of the shift. Cano from the grass throws him out. 2 down. Jimenez over to third.
You know, 3 of the 4 runs that the Indians have scored tonight come on the walk.
Yeah.
You know,
well, I mean, Rick, you get this many walks in a game, you've got to take advantage of them.
8 walks. Yeah, they have. I mean, the hit, that's how they scored. 3 walks. They've come around to score, so.
Now Jason Kipnis takes a fastball. From Benoit. Out of play left side. Down in the dirt. Kipnis awaiting the 2-1 pitch. And he hits it hard and into right field. A 2-out RBI single for Jason Kipnis makes it a 3-run 8th inning. And it's now a 5-2 Indians lead. And Joaquin Benoit will get the hook from Scott Service after giving it up big time here in the 8th inning.
Well, that one was elevated. That was up above the belt. Kipnis able to get on top of that and drive it into right field. So not a good night for Joaquin Benoit.
We've got a timeout in Seattle, where the Indians have finally put it together. Tyler Naquin blowing it open with a big 2-run homer. And now they've tacked on one more. We'll be right back. Coming on to pitch with 2 out in the 8th. 22nd appearance of the year.
This guy has struck out 21 and just walked 1 batter in his 19 2/3 inning. They're just looking for the 3rd out of this inning. A walk, a 2-run homer, an error, and a 2-out RBI single by Kipnis give the Indians 3 in the 8th to take a 5-2 lead.
And a foul right back by Francisco Lindor. Doubled in the 7th inning. That helped lead to a run. Gave the Indians a brief lead. And now a hard smash to third. Sardinius will throw him out. And we'll go to the bottom of the 8th with the Indians now up 5-2 thanks to Tyler Naquin, who golfed one out of here to put the Indians back on top.
After they scored 3 in the top half of the 8th. Brian Shaw is coming out of the Indians bullpen. He will appear for the 28th time on the year. He's coming on to face Smith, Cano, and Cruz due up for Seattle. So a big 8th inning for the Indians after Seattle came out and tied it up on one swing of the bat with the leadoff hitter in the last inning. They're in a good position right now. 6 more outs, looking for a split in the series.
Seth Smith to lead it off here in the 8th. And the first pitch strike. Two quick strikes on Seth Smith. With Robinson Cano to follow here in the 8th. Pops it to left. Over near the line, a long run. He's going to make it to the seats. Ajay gave it a look. And a fastball up and in. That'll even it up. Shaw missing outside, a full count. And the 3-2 pitch. Lindor throws out Smith, 1 away. Looking back at our keys to the game, brought to you by Mazda. Indians were hoping for a crooked number or 2. They finally got one in the 8th inning when they needed it at just the right time. And Josh Tomlin gave up 2 runs tonight.
Hey, a couple of solo home runs. He was fine. He was effective. 2 runs. He got you into the 7th inning. 6 1/3. Didn't walk anybody.
Robinson Cano, 2 for 3 on the night, takes the ball inside. Robinson Cano's 2nd home run of the night. It's the Mariners a run closer at 5-3.
number 18 for Cano. And boy, I'll tell you what, when he hits him, you know it. That ball just jumped out of here. Line drive stroke. Oh, quick bat on that cutter. So it gets him one closer.
And Robinson Cano with 3 home runs in the season series against the Indians. Warriors coming back in Cleveland.
Yeah, which was the game winner in extra innings.
Meanwhile, Nelson Cruz has a count in his favor, 2-0. Cruz got a base hit back in the first inning, and then in a key play early in this game, he was thrown out at home plate to end the first inning on a ball that was mere inches from going out of here off the bat of Kyle Seager. How that might have changed things if that ball's over the fence for a home run.
You're right.
And
inches is
3-0 right away.
Yes, indeed. That ball hit the yellow line, the top of the fence, and came back into play in a great relay. Got him at home plate.
Swung out and missed. He struck him out 2 away.
Well, this ball came running in on Cruz here. Almost looked like it backed up on him to go up and in a good location. Didn't let him extend the arms, and they get the strikeout for the second out of the inning.
Now Kyle Seager 1 for 3 on the night with a double. He pulls it foul. A bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Seager, he's headed toward the gap. Chisenhall cuts it off. And a 2-out single for Kyle Seager, his second hit tonight. It's just 3 hits in the series, though, for Seager. They've done a nice job against him.
Yeah, he hit a line drive. That was a pitch out over the plate by Shaw.
Here's Mickey Callaway making a rare appearance. Adam Lynn will be the batter, and Adam Lynn scalded one to the seats in right field his last time up.
Yeah, he's going over on how to pitch him now because you have Marte, the guy on deck.
Actually, he didn't hit one of the seats. He hit it onto that tarp in right center field.
Well, it was it didn't last long. It was the first pitch. Here it is. And they got out of here quickly. It's a little pinball game.
Off the flipper.
Yeah.
downstairs, ball one. Cody Allen now starting to get loose in the Cleveland pen. Fastball misses low, 2-0. Adam Lind is the tying run at the plate now. And Shaw misses badly. 3 balls, no strikes. I don't think Mickey Callaway went out there and said just pitch around him, because you generally don't want to bring the go-ahead run to the plate this late in the ball game. But Lynn certainly has a lot of power compared to Marte. Offering. 4. So 2 on, 2 out. Mickey Callaway's checking to see if Cody Allen's ready. If he is, Tito might make the move to his closer right here. And I think he's going to.
He sure is.
So Brian Shaw gives up a home run, gets 2 outs, and then puts 2 on base. So the Indians far from out of the soup yet. Shaw's out. Allen is in with 2 on and 2 out in the 8th. We'll be right back. Cody Allen's coming on in the 8th inning. He's looking for a 4-out save tonight. Mariners have 2 on with 2 out, and Ketel Marte will be the batter. Marte is 1 for 3 tonight and 4 for 9 in the series. Blew it by him for strike 1. Sean O'Malley running for Adam Lind at first.
Yeah, that would be the tying run. So he wants to put someone a little quicker than Lind was out there.
upstairs with the heat. Couldn't catch up. It's 0-2. Now the 2-strike pitch. A little high, able to lay off that time. Two pitch. Here's a bouncing ball towards second. Kipnis is there, and he'll throw him out to end the inning. Mariners hit their 3rd home run of the night, but we'll go to the 9th with the Indians in front 5-3. Game, guys, and I can still go back to that one in the first. The ball that Seager hit off the top of the wall, it stayed in, and then they threw out Cruz at home plate to end the inning. There are various twists and turns in this plot tonight. Steve Johnson on to pitch the top half of the 9th inning for Seattle. He is the 6th Mariners pitcher to work tonight. Deo Lee is at first, Sean O'Malley at third for Seattle. Mike Napoli drove in a big run in the 7th inning with a 2-out infield single.
Yes, he did. He gave him the lead. Didn't get through the infield, but certainly went for a base hit.
Yeah, and the other thing too that you cannot overlook is Josh Tomlin, because the offense was having a tough time getting anything going tonight, and he kept them in it by not allowing the Mariners to score outside of the 2 solo home runs that he gave up. Now, you can argue all you want about the timing. I mean, they went ahead and he came right back out. First guy up, gave up the game-tying home run in the last inning he pitched. But, I mean, all in all, if he has a one bad inning somewhere along the way there, like in the first, for example, had that ball gone a couple inches more over the fence instead of staying in play, it might have changed the entire tone of this game.
No crooked numbers. He didn't allow that.
Right.
You know, you give up a couple of solo home runs, but you're in the game. Keeps you in the game. He doesn't give up free base runners. That's how the Indians stayed in the game, with all the walks that the Seattle pitching gave to them.
What are they, 9 walks altogether?
8.
Oh, that's right, 8. Nuno only faced the one batter, right?
Yes.
Jose Ramirez comes up empty. Oh, 8. Well, I know what I was thinking about. 8 walks plus the bad play by Benoit on the air.
The error, right.
Jimenez should have been an easy out for him. Instead, he threw it away, and Jimenez came around and scored a huge run. Now, I mean, at the time you're thinking, oh, it's just a little gravy, but that 5th run looms very large in the ball game right now.
Well, right now, John Hirschbeck just took a bat off the swing of Ramirez. It flew out of his hands and caught him on the elbow. After the swing and miss, released the bat, and it caught Johnny right on that elbow. They're sort of chuckling about it right now, so he seems to be okay. It's just a little stinger. And he said, you better swing at everything, because they're all strikes from now on.
Jose had a big RBI knock in that 5th inning. He's come up with a number of big hits for the Indians all season long. Tonight, no different. The only unfortunate thing was that hit didn't drive in 2 runs, but Francisco Lindor was thrown out at the plate. High, foul, and a hit. $19,901 the attendance tonight on a cool night. Series finale. 65 at game time. It's dropped down into the 50s now. The 2-2. Should be a little warmer when we venture down the coast to Anaheim.
I think it would be.
And then it'll be downright smoky when we get to Kansas City. The 2-2. In the air to center. Aoki is that 2 down. Our play of the game brought to you by Pat O'Brien Chevrolet.
Boy, I'm still amazed at the pitch that he hit out of the ballpark. We showed you that Benoit was shocked. Look at him look back at his catcher. He can't believe it. He can't believe he walked Davis before that. And that was the big inning for the Indians. And then right after that hitter, he had an error. So that certainly was the big play of the game.
Lonnie Chisenhall 1 out of 4 in the ballgame, takes a strike at the bottom of the zone. High pop, foul ground. O'Malley. Inning over. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. Cody Allen will try to close it out for Cleveland when we come back. in Seattle. And Cody Allen, who got the final out of the 8th inning, will face Chris Iannetta, Dae-Ho Lee, and Nori Aoki.
Indians fans hoping to see a split here. 3 more outs and they can start this 4-game series out 2-2.
Bouncing foul, third base side. And 0-1 fastball just missing. Indians and Angels tomorrow night from Anaheim. Corey Kluber, Hector Santiago will have it for you on Sports Time Ohio, 10 o'clock Eastern Time. A little bit low. Now 3-1. Iannetta broke his bat, and it bounces away from Ramirez. He recovers and throws and got him.
Boy, oh boy, he did not panic. I did not know if he was going to recover to get that ball, but he picked it up quickly and he made a nice throw, and it was accurate. He was going for the slide. He didn't catch it, but boy, he got on it in a hurry and then makes a quick throw and a very accurate throw to get the leadoff man, and there he is. He loves it. There's the umpire. He gone.
Fantastic play by Jose. And now Dae-Ho Lee with 1 out on the ninth. And breaking ball in the dirt. Fastball at the knees for a strike, and it's 1-1. It's outside. 2 balls on a strike. And then 3-1. Full count. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. Blew it by him upstairs Lee might have helped him out, not sure.
Yeah, he elevated
was
the
a strike
fastball on him right there and put it in a very good location. A tough one to catch up to here. Get it above the belt, and you can see that little lift in there.
Yeah.
That he could not get the barrel head of the bat out there to at least foul it off. So it's out number 2. Now Seattle down to their last out.
Foul back out of play. Now the 0-1 pitch to Nori Aoki. That's a base hit into center field. And now the tying run will come to the plate in the form of Seth Smith, who is 1 for 4 tonight.
Well, Aoki got a ball down right there and took it right back up the middle. So that is 12 hits now for the Mariners. So they still have a little life.
Well, what they'd really love to do is get Cano to the plate.
Well, they would certainly like to do that, but this guy's been swinging the bat very well. He's hit the ball hard in this series.
The outfield deep, around toward right. Aoki takes off, and the ball is fouled out of play. Smith swings, fouling it out of play. Seattle down to their final strike. Pitch is lined into center field, a base hit. Aoki will go to third, and now Seattle has their chance with Robinson Cano coming to the plate.
Well, he got the fastball and he fouled it off, and then here you're going to get a breaking ball, but it wasn't a very good one. It was right at the middle of the plate. That ball just didn't have the bite to it, so now you're going to have to face the toughest and best hitter they have on this team to get your final out. So 2 out back-to-back singles gives Cano an opportunity, who is 3 for 4 tonight with 2 home runs and a double. That was in the first inning, and this one was in the 8th inning. Gives him 18 on the year. So Seattle not going down easy.
Well, we talked about the 0-2 pitch that Naquin hit for a home run, and the 0-2 pitch that Smith gets the base hit on gets Robinson Cano to the plate. And Cody Allen will go to work in a tough spot now. It's high, ball 1.
stepped out.
Tying run at first base. Fastball strike.
Cano has off. Comes back, and this is in Cleveland. Extra innings, the 10th inning. Straightaway center field. That did it. That was the first hit Cano had off him, and that was a big one. 3-run home run.
And now the 1-1. That's ball away.
Outfielders playing very deep, which you have to do. That tying run is on first base. So you've got to cut anything off into the gap and get it in quickly.
Cody deals. Up and away, 3-1. Those who remain feel like there's still a lot of hope, because even if Cody Allen walks Cano, they've got Nelson Cruz waiting on deck. And now the 3-1 pitch. And a good one. It goes to a 3-1 breaking ball.
Well,
sure, Cano wasn't looking for that.
Well,
there.
not in that location. Now, I wish he would have thrown that breaking ball to Smith. But that's a perfect pitch right there. And if you walk them, then you walk them. But you can't give in right there. 3-1 count. Cano looking probably for that fastball. Now maybe a little doubt on what to sit on. 3-2.
So if Cody goes back to that pitch, if he goes back to it, he's got to find that same location.
I'll tell you what, that was a dandy.
Runner goes at first. The 3-2 swung out and missed. He chased it into there. Jimenez has got a tough play at first. He throws. Game over. Indians win it. Cody Allen nails down the save by the skin of his teeth, and the Indians split the 4-gamer by beating the Mariners 5-3 here tonight. Give Cody Allen his 13th save as the Indians win it by a final score of 5-3. And their record now 33-26 on the year. The Indians now with a full 3-game lead over both Detroit and Kansas City in the American League Central Division, 3.5 games over the Chicago White Sox. The Mariners now 33-27, fall 4 games back at Texas in the AL West.